And welcome to Men in Confidence Sharing, where we, the men of a certain age, share our thoughts, ideas, and opinions in confidence. And today we are joined by most of the crew. We have Sean, we have myself, the host, Tony, and we have Terrence. So let's go one by one and say hello to Sean,
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
and let's say hello to Terrence.
Greetings and salutations, good people.
Thank you, fellas. Okay, so today we're going to continue our series of the 10 Men Commandments, 10 things that all men should know, or 10 things that all men should be able to do. And today we're starting with number 7, be courageous. Why is it important that men be courageous? So I'm just going to toss the question out and see who wants to start it off.
Okay, so being courageous to me was something I actually had to think about very much so, because we talked already about being confident, and the two can be synonyms sometimes. But from what I've found, being courageous should be the predecessor to being confident. So, what I mean by that is sometimes you have to do something courageous in order to build confidence by taking that risk, taking a chance at something, and being successful at it. That helps you feel confident if you need to do it again. But in order to, as they say, shoot your shot or take that chance, you got to you got to summon all the courage you require and then go for it. So to me, that's kind of where being courageous comes in handy. And it's not just, again, not just something that applies to talking to women. It's being courageous to take that opportunity to go after your dream job, to put in that application. Because personal story, I remember one time I wanted to go after a job working in TV, and I saw an opportunity, and I looked at it and thought to myself, wow, even though this opportunity has presented itself to me, I don't know that I could do this, and I shrunk away from it. And although now it's not something that I sit back and regret, thinking back on it's like, dang, I should have at least tried. So being courageous definitely is something that a man should have in his back pocket, front pocket, all around him, because you never know when that calculated risk may pop up and you have to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I listen. I can completely agree with you, Terrence. I'm gonna tell you the truth that, and I had to think about it too. I had to do the same thing. I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh, we did be confident." Folks are gonna get confused. You got confidence and you got courage, but then you're thinking, well, what's the two? What's the difference between the two? What's it mean to me? You know, and to me, I'm with you. It's like you need the courage in order to actually make that step. I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. I know I've been, I can see the plan. I'm confident in the plan. I look at this plan. I study this plan. This plan is going to work. I analyze. I'm looking at it. And this is brilliant. This is pure genius. This is going to work for my life. I like the way this is laid out. I should go do this. Then I'll go do that. Then I'll do this. And I'm confident that the plan will work. And I've done my research and I feel like everything is going good. I can go and I can do this. It's a brilliant plan. And I get stuck at brilliant plan. Brilliant plan never takes up off the ground because of the courage to step out and make that plan formulate into something else. I'm drawing the plan. I'm waiting for somebody else to go and do it. It's not going to work for me in my specific life. I have to be courageous. I have to step out. I have to grab the sword and shield and go into the fray. Suiting up is not enough. Having a sharp sword is not enough. I crafted this from, right there myself, forged it from the star of the Isildur. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It just tells you what I'm a fan of, though. It doesn't a little bit. But it doesn't matter. I got the sharpest sword, the best shield, and the helmet's on, and everything's going. But if I stand at the top of the hill when the battle's being fought, I didn't take the courage to go out into the battle and actually do something about it. So it is. You have to have it all together as a package. That's to me what the courage of it means to do. And I'm gonna tell you another one. Courage comes in also too when, say, the plan almost formulated itself. You winded up thrust into the battle with almost no effort on your own, and you hit a snag. When you hit that wall, when something happens, you had all the armor on, you went charging into the battle, you was on horseback, you raised your sword, and you got walloped from somewhere because somebody hit you with a mace and you don't know what happened. And now you got to face this foe with a mace. You got to figure out how to beat him because you didn't plan for him. It's the courage to not get back on your horse or run away so that you can go back to the drawing board, try to figure things out. Or even if that is the case, if that's the right move at that time, but it's the courage to get back, plant both feet back in the ground, stand again, look whatever obstacle in the eye and go back through it and make it just an obstacle and not a defeat. And that to me is where like courage all together comes from.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I appreciate that, Sean. Okay, so it sounds like there seems, and I'm going to say seems because I don't think it really is, but there seems to be a little bit of overlap between confidence and courage. That's the way it sounds like to me, as far as when everyone's trying to wrap their mind around this. I feel like confidence is more about believing in yourself and having the ability to stand in your spot with confidence. Is the ability to be where you are, put your, be in the Superman pose, spread your legs out, put your fist on your hip and stick your chest out, and stand with confidence. Courage is in motion.
Right.
I heard Terrence say the phrase calculated risk. Courage is risky, right? Like there's a risk involved. You can lose, right? There's a battle involved in courage. Courage is the willingness to fight, the willingness to take a chance, the willingness to take a calculated risk. And as a man, that is so important because being confident is great. Being confident in your home and what you have and everything that's going good is great. You may have a good job, you may have a good wife, you may have a good family, you may have a good household, and it may come a day where the ends just aren't meeting and you're going to have to take a risk. You're going to have to go out and fight for more. You're going to have to go out and slay to get more. You're going to go out and have to take a risk in order to improve who you are. It's not just about staying great. It's about becoming greater by taking risks. And just as a sidebar, one of the things that came to my mind when we talked about courage is, and I know like we've laughed about this off camera.
I know.
You know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
Talk about the Wizard of Oz and the Cowardly Lion.
Yes.
I'm not gonna read it all, right? But if you get a chance, look at the Cowardly Lion's speech when it comes to courage.
What makes a man a man? Courage. This is the one we're talking about. If you weren't aware of which one we were talking about, that's the speech.
Okay, so since you said it, I'm gonna give a line. Like, what makes the elephant charge his tusk in the misty mist or the dusky dusk? What makes the muskrat guard his musk? Courage.
Somebody has seen that movie well more than me. Or it's funny. I don't mean to get off.
I'm reading it. But go ahead.
Oh, you'll read it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I thought you pulled that.
No, I didn't pull that off the top of my head. No.
All right. I digress. Then I'm gonna back off that.
I didn't pull that off the top of my head. I'm not that good.
I thought you had just seen that movie literally 120 times, and you had that
Look,
speech memorized. Somebody out there does.
of course.
What
Of
puts
course,
the
somebody
Hottentot?
does.
What makes the Hottentot so hot? What puts the ape in the apricot? What they got that I ain't got? Courage.
Oh God.
Oh my
Love it.
goodness.
Love it.
Classic, classic,
Yes.
classic,
It
classic.
is
Very
cla-
classic
that is
movie.
very much so a classic. So definitely check it out.
Very
Oh,
classic movie.
honestly, what you just did was courageous. The reason that was courageous in my mind is because that is kind of, for us, we get it. But to somebody else listening, that might be a bit of an obscure reference. And sometimes you just got to go for it because you never know what's going to resonate with somebody. Us getting together and putting this on sometimes is a leap of faith, a step of courage, just for sake of saying, hey, number one, we're getting together and just kind of sharing our thoughts and opinions and feelings or whatever confidently. But it's also courageous because sometimes through the process of these conversations, we could get a little vulnerable, expose a little something, and put that out there to hopefully impact somebody else or inspire someone else, or at the very least, let someone else understand and know that they're not alone. And that to me is probably one of the most courageous things people can do, is showing up and being present for somebody else.
Okay, so let me reflect on what you just said and add a little bit of perspective. Okay, so you said that I'll say we were being courageous about what we're doing right now. So we've been throwing out references so far. Another reference to throw out, like, I'm a comic book fan. Green Lantern. Green Lantern is known for their ability to overcome great fear. And to me, that is what courage is. It is being able to see the fear, acknowledge it, and move anyway. So I'll give you a synonym for courage. Not just men should be courageous, men should be fearless, right? Men should, well, I won't say fearless, but men should be able to
Brave.
move in spite of fear. Men should be
There you go.
brave.
There you go.
That's, thank you. Even better. So men should be able to move in spite of fear,
Right.
because we don't have the luxury of sitting back and being afraid. You live in fear, you die. You know you won't eat.
Right.
Yeah, this is true. This is
You
true.
go out there, huh, I'm scared of hunting. Fine, sit and starve. Go for it.
That's it.
But it is so important that we go beyond these emotional limits. We can't be emotionally limited. We can't be limited by our feelings. We have to act. But I'll just stop at that, and I'll let someone else jump in.
I mean, no, you good, you good. And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, uh, you great points. And for some reason, something that came to me was to make sure that I put out, courage. Courage doesn't mean that you don't have to use, you're not using wisdom. It's not reckless abandonment into the fight. It's not,
Very important.
yeah, it's not because I'm trying to fight through my fear. I don't think it through. I don't, I got to be courageous. So I just run headlong into the battle. No, you can still use your wits about you. You still want to think it through. And, and again, like, I love it. Moving in spite of fear, that's definite, because the fear, you can still use the fear. You need the fear to still help you think your way, to saying through it, and to be, you should have a healthy fear, because it'll also keep you grounded. It'll keep you from getting into an arrogant zone, the zone we were talking about. You don't necessarily want to be into, because you don't want to get so on your high horse that when you do fail, you can't pick yourself back up from that standpoint. So those type of things are important. But I thought all of a sudden it was like, yeah, let me let folks know, you run into the fray, but not with reckless abandon.
Absolutely. Being courageous doesn't mean you have to be a daredevil and just, trying all of these risky things for sake of saying, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just, invincible. And that's a very important point to make to young men in particular, because I know for me, and I'm going to guess that it was probably the same for you guys. When I was 19, I was a Marine. I was, in my mind, every bit of that hard-charging, dedicated, motivated, invincible, bulletproof, hardcore devil dog that they inspired in us. I was not bulletproof. I am still not bulletproof. My mind might be pretty tough, but I am not physically bulletproof. So there's still a certain level of healthy fear. That's the way it's been addressed. Healthy fear that needs to be had. But even with that, you can allow that fear to do one or two things. It can either stand in front of you and keep you from going where you want to go, or you can allow it to get behind you and push you to where you want to be.
That's true.
Now, maybe I was in a different place when I was 19. I was afraid of everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I didn't want to speak for everybody.
Yeah, I was
afraid of everything. Like,
afraid
of the future, afraid of the present, afraid if I'm enough, afraid will it ever be enough?
I had brilliant. I guess that's the reason why I said that about the brilliant plan. I promise you, I had a map laid out, a plan that would have been it. I look at it, I go, this is drawn out perfectly for my life. The plan is brilliant, but I was always waiting for somebody else to execute the plan.
Man, I had a crayon plan on a hot sunny day.
Yours was still melting.
That sucker had no structure, nothing you could put anything on.
That's good.
God dog it, bro. That's pretty good. I like that.
Like,
I like
golly, it was.
You ain't had to worry about nobody discovering your plans in the aftermath. Once you,
it was
if
abstract
you
thoughts.
it was done.
Like, I'm gonna be grown and I'm gonna have money. That's about as far as it. That's about as far as it went. I'm gonna be grown. I'm gonna have my own house. I'm gonna have money.
And you know what?
How do you get those things, Tony? Well, I think they come when I turn it. Like, I turned 18 a year ago. I'm long overdue. Like, this should fall out the sky any day now. Like,
Exactly.
Whoever they are, they got my address. Like, I'm not hard to find, But fear, plenty of fear. Especially, okay, so not to go too far off topic. Okay, but we are all, I believe, we're raised as Christians somewhat. Somehow we've all been exposed to the Christian faith,
Yeah.
and I would say
that Christianity thing.
I would say that around that time, that's probably when I was my most religious. And I'm not going to say that's when I had my most faith. I would probably say that's when I was probably my most religious. That was when I was probably my most by the book, following the crowd, trying to do it the way, that the Lord want me to do it, And with that comes a lot of fear. With that comes a lot of fear of not doing it right, the fear of not being pleasing to God, and the fear of pushing, not just pushing you away, pushing somebody else away, right? From the belief. So I don't know if I have a direction where I'm going with this, but as time went by, that fear has fallen off me, and I think that is It's made me a much better person. It's one of the reasons why I don't give it.
Ran out of all yours. Once that store ran out, you said, "I'm gonna do this my way," and that's
Zero
it.
to give.
That's
Got
it.
it.
That's it.
Apparently, my give a damn was Dapper Dan, and now all they got is fop.
All they got is fop.
All they got is fop.
I'm a Dapper Dan man. Oh, there's places I don't think you guys go with me. And you guys are still right there, and I be forgetting.
Man, we've known each other a long time, bro.
We really have, and that same sense of humor, like, floating around there. Some of the same things that pop out to me at movies still pop out from y'all. I be catching it, man.
But here's a perfect example of being courageous. In order to be funny, in order to be entertaining, you got to be able to willing to say something that might bother somebody.
It was just on my head. I just fired it, right?
Like pew 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 pew.
You know what?
Forget
right.
where it lands. Forget who it hits.
Forget who it is. I don't think I'm still all the way at that point. I still think I'm a little bit reserved on my wit when it comes down to that. I don't just fire right off to the top two things on my head though. But sometimes I look back and I go, that's a good thing, because if I really fired them first two, sometimes we might not be friends no more. No, not that one. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. That'll work. I got that one. I'll put it together. They say you shouldn't say everything that's on your head, but I tell you what, sometimes it is fun.
I think we all still have things that we're a little guarded, a little cautious about, a little but I think that's human nature. So I don't want anybody to come away from this conversation feeling like, well, I don't know if I could do that, or the point of being courageous is just that, plant your feet, lift in regards to whatever it is that's got you under that pressure of feeling like you can't do it. Because like Tony said, I think it was Tony that said, courage is in motion, which means it's ongoing, it's continuous. It's not just for a specific point in time, or there's an end point. It's ongoing. There is no finite point of, oh, I am courageous, so everything is just in place now and it stops. You have to keep going with that, period.
Okay, so I'm going to make another reference. So if some company pulls this video, don't be surprised. Because while you were talking, another song or another video came to mind. Was do you remember the stop motion? Not stop motion. Well, yeah, like the old Christmas movies, like the Santa Claus, where
oh yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town, and
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, you talk about the old animation.
Yeah, like the old. Was it puppets or was it
Yeah, like puppets, like not claymation, but like puppets. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Burgermeister,
Rankin and Bass. That's what
it.
Rankin and Bass.
That's exactly it. Shout out to Rankin and Bass.
Shout out to Rankin and Bass. Don't sue us.
We're giving you this credit for this. God, everybody's so sensitive.
Shout out to everyone that we've mentioned thus far.
I swear. I should be paid.
Shout out to Christians and lions and muskrats and elephants.
What would that be? I don't even know what company that is. Is it Paramount? I don't know. 20
Hobbits
and you ain't lying.
Hobbits and swords. Anyone?
You ain't lying. All I did was say armor. And the Isengard, I don't even think is actually.
Well, then we better shout out Hamilton, because I did drop a Hamilton reference too. So
Lin-Manuel.
Well, he knows. Yeah. He knows he's good with us. He better come on the show.
Yeah, man. I think he already realized we're fans.
Straight up, yes.
But
yes.
But the song was the one, the put one foot in front of the other.
Yes.
I'm not gonna sing it because we might get in trouble. But anyway,
again, it is Santa Claus.
But that's what courage is all about: is having the courage to put one foot in front of the other and move.
it.
That's it.
And I'll leave that alone.
Nah,
Let it go.
I'm dropping the mic on that.
Nah, man, I don't think there's anything else to say after that.
But shoot, fellas, would you say that this has been a pretty good show?
Yeah.
Believe so. Absolutely.
I'm good.
All right.
I feel comfortable with it.
Well, after we've had a very courageous show with mad mentions going everywhere, I'm going to toss it to Terrence for the closing.
Okay, so as always, thank y'all for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. Good night, or good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever it is that you're listening. Deuces.
Y'all have
Peace.
a good one, man. Appreciate y'all stopping by as always.